All right. Well, hi guys. Thanks very much for talking to me today. I really enjoyed the
Hello.
premiere episode. A lot happened in one episode, didn't it?
It
So
really did.
quite a lot. So were you both, either of you, familiar with the book before you were cast, or did you read it after you were cast?
Yes, I started to, we both started to, I started to plow into it at the same time as I was getting hit with scripts. The structure of both of them don't necessarily line up perfectly. So it started to slightly, even by Ragdoll standards, get myself into a bit of a tangled web. At which point I thought Freddie's evil vision was more than enough for my child brain to deal with. And so I stuck to the script, as they say. But it's on my nightstand, and weirdly, I've started reading it now, long after the fact. In fact, my 4-year-old is kind of interested because it's got a slightly interesting cover, and keeps asking me to read chapters of it to her. And it's really hard to read chapters of that book to a 4-year-old without doing some naughty swear words, or indeed describing some horrible grisly murders.
Horrible scenes.
I think a bit scary there for a 4-year-old.
Yeah.
What about you, Thalissa?
Yeah, ditto. I mean, I got the script and the book at the same time. They sent them both in the post to me, and yeah, quickly realized when we started filming that it wasn't very useful for any of us for me to have, because also the order in which you hear about certain crimes has been switched around, and that's so important, to filming, especially when you're filming things in different orders, that I couldn't quite work out who knew what when, because they were very different in the book to the script. But yeah, the essence of it is very much there. The humor of it is there also, that was in the book, and then Freddie sort of blasts it out into space. Where you are.
When it comes to a kill list, Jamie, the kill list is important. Who's on the list, and Rose is in at 6, which is better than being 1. But it's important to get the order right. You don't want to miss your place in the kill list queue. You could end up dead before your time.
Definitely not. Other than taking it from the script, though, is there anywhere else you guys were inspired by, either a real life person or a character from some other show? Henry, you can go first.
Oh, interesting one. You know what? Freddie was kind enough to show us a handful of amazing Korean detective films, Memories of Murder, and what was the other one? Crimson.
Didn't watch it.
I want to say Crimson Petal and the White. I think that's the translation title. And it was great to get that, it was kind of physicality, a kind of washed out, hard drinking, older detectives that have seen some stuff. Because obviously for Baxter and Rose, this is not their first case. It's not their first rodeo by any stretch of imagination. They've been around the block. So it was nice to be able to see some detective, some kind of stylish detectives done really well, and to have that lived in quality. And I think with the costumes, with the art direction, I think I used the word earlier to Lisa. It's like feels a bit analog, the world that they're in. So luckily, you know what I mean? It was all in keeping with the same feeling. But when Freddie gave those references, and then we started working and meeting people in the production, you could tell that this vision was going to be kind of consistent throughout. So that was really nice.
Yeah.
And I know you had fun with costume, Thalissa.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with costume. It was something that I really wanted to make sure that there was some sort of armor that she could hide behind, and that it was a bit more like a uniform than possibly something that was a bit more casual. Also, I think she had a lot of she could hide behind something that just felt quite sort of structured when her life isn't that at all. But yeah, I looked a lot at there was this brilliant website on the Metropolitan Police website in the UK with lots of accounts of police officers talking about what it is to be also a Black police officer in the UK at the moment. So I was just reading a lot about people that had gone through, possibly not, they didn't have anything as graphic on there as what Baxter could have gone through, but it was really interesting to hear kind of the fear possibly that family members had, that these people were part of the police force, which then kind of led me to think, actually, where is Baxter's family? And maybe this is more her family, because they weren't as present in our script. So yeah, I think Memories of Murder, which was a brilliant film that what was his name, Detective Parker Duman, is just, you know, hard drinker, possibly twists the truth a little, slightly unwashed
He's
face.
always whacking people. He's always whacking people. He's always like jumping on someone and
whacking
whacking them.
Well,
Yeah.
the other thing I wanted to ask is that TCA, I had talked very briefly to you guys about kind of what you do behind the scenes to kind of get out of such a dark show. But is it hard for you to step away from that and to kind of get out of that headspace, or does it kind of stick with you?
That's a good question. I think it's different. I think it's different for everyone. Thalissa, do you want to go first, or?
If the darkness of it stays with you.
Yeah.
Was that the question? Yeah, I think I mean, the deeper you got into filming, also the more physically and emotionally tired you were anyway. So I think I became more sensitive to things the later we got on. Also, like being on your period when you're waking up at 5 a.m. is also knackering, and you just get a lot more sensitive to things. But yeah, I mean, we were doing research into real murders and listening to lots of podcasts and hearing about things that, I mean, speaking for Lucy Hale, and I'm sure she wouldn't disagree with me, she loves crime drama and real crime podcasts and stuff, but it's not something that I was naturally drawn to at the start. I actually find it difficult watching the news sometimes. So it was a overload of remembering that the bad stuff is real or possible. And yeah, it affects you when you, hearing sirens going off in London, you're like, wonder what's actually going on. And it does put you in a different mindset, but it hasn't been, I mean, it's always been there, which is also something so extreme about, you know, if you think of, we've been obsessed with watching dramas like this, and it's been something that's been in humanity so much. Like, what is violence, and what is the need for understanding it ourselves? You know, why do you want to watch it? But yeah, it got harder the more tired you got.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you both of you so much. I'm excited to see more of the show.
Thanks, Jamie. Thank you so much for watching.
Sure. Bye-bye.